to give back to the Y, I will try my best to set enthusiasm levels high and lead by example. So far this year, I've led more team cheers than I can remember, and I'm having so much fun being a part of this team. To me, being a senior is all about appreciating the opportunities we get, the skills we've learned, and doing our best to reflect the best qualities in ourselves that the YMCA community has given us.
And if you'll remain standing as William now offers our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, we're very pleased to award and recognize our 2023 Adolph Kiefer YMCA Youth Character Award. This is really a unique award, not so much around performance, but more so contributions back to local communities in alignment with our character values. Presenting these awards will be Meredith Griffin, Manager of National Competitive Events for the YMCA of the USA. On the women's side, she's a senior at Versailles High School in Ohio. She'll be attending either the U.S. Military Academy or Ohio State University. She's been a YMCA swimmer for 10 years. She's dedicated to serving others through a number of organizations and projects. One is a coordinator for the Angel Tree Mission Project, Youth for Understanding mentor and counselor, a youth leader for her church. She volunteers with her local food pantry and performs on piano and violin at a local nursing home. She credits her YMCA experience with helping her to step out of her comfort zone, take on new challenges, and embrace new experiences. When COVID turned a year abroad in Denmark into 2 years, she became even more dedicated to serving others, and she returned home with a commitment to being a leader at the Y and in the community. The female 2023 Adolph Kiefer YMCA Youth Character Award goes to Tiana Mesher, All Glaze Mercer, Family Y. Our men's recipient, also a senior at Versailles High School in Ohio. He'll be attending the Ohio State University in the fall. He's been a YMCA swimmer for 9 years and is currently an athlete representative to the YMCA Swimming National Advisory Committee and National Championship Meet Committee. He's a talented singer and musician who performs in community theater productions is a youth choir leader and volunteers at the Benjamin and Marion Schuster Performing Arts Center. He also volunteers with his local food pantry and is part of a program that tutors struggling students during his free period at school. Zach credits the YMCA with helping him develop resilience, be a role model for the YMCA core values. He enjoys serving others and is proud to have represented YMCA swimmers on the national committees for the past 2 years. Our 2023 Adolph Kiefer YMCA Youth Character Men's Award goes to Zach Ahrens, All Glaze Mercer Family YMCA. Berkshire Y and Countryside coaches to the time trial room. Another centennial moment celebrating 100 years of YMCA swimming. At this time, we're going to ask all of our officials, those of you dressed in white, if you would step up to the side behind your block or over the side or on the bulkhead where you can be seen. So please, all of our officials, please step forward. As they have served your local communities, your local meets, regional meets, state meets, all as volunteers, I think it's appropriate for us to stand and thank our volunteer officials for their work here and throughout the year. Thank you. Looks like our officials are ready. Are you ready for Wednesday Y Nationals? Our first event will be event 302, the men's 100-yard backstroke. The national record and championship meet record, Brendan Burns, upper main line, 46:24, set back in 2018. There are 16 heats in this preliminary event. We'll start with heat number 1, Mr. Referee.
YMCA Greater Nashua. I'm sorry, folks up in Greater Nashua, calling it Nashua. Might be my Philadelphia thing coming into play. So here we are, finishing up. Good swim right there. And that is Ryan West from the YMCA Triangle. He goes 53.17. Up next on the men's side will be heat number 3 with Harrison 1, S-Step 2, Lang 3, Warner 4, Reeve 5, Miller 6, Mims 7, and Wright in 8. Still waiting on the women's side. I think there was a mechanical issue that happened right toward the end of warm-up that they're just catching up with right now. So heat number 3 is staged and ready to go on the men's course.
For all of you in the event center, so make sure you swing by the event center this week. Free towel, free bag, same thing.
And Miller's off to a pretty good start at .61. Miller in lane number 6 from Westfield YMCA. Once again on the A, we've got Ree. He's out and 24.88. And the Nehemiah Ree from Wyckoff. Once again, it was 51.20 to get on the men's C final last year. 50.21 and then 49 to get into the B final and 49.05 to get into the A final. I'd give you the women's. I'm sorry. I was a bit confused. I was waiting for those women to start. And anyway, we've got Nehemiah Ree. He goes 52.70 out of heat number 3. Heat number 4 are still now staging. Lillian 1, McFall 2, Rock 3, Bonfils 4, Nutzel 5, Bedeker 6, Zoo in 7, and Calderon in 8. Time to beat so far, Michaela Rentala 51.98. Mikael Rantala from Greater Nashua.
On the women's course event 301, the women's 100-yard backstroke.
So we'll be about ready to get started with the women's backstroke. So once again, time to beat on the men's side, 51.98. Hey, to get in on the women's side, the C final was 56.66, B final 56.04, and 54.62 last year got you into the championship final. And on the men's side right now, this is heat number 4 in the water. And Calderon, he is your leader from Fairmont Scotch Plains halfway through at 25.47. And over on the women's side again, Freeman, Hunt, Coburn, Hoffman, Burcio, Colbert, Pontorio, and Zerbel. That's 1 through 8. Bottom of your screen is lane 1. The top of the screen is lane number 8. Finishing up on the men's side in heat number 4. Time to beat is 51.98. We'll be over that. But that's a good swim right there for Calderon as he goes 53.26. And on the women's side, out first 28.58 is Maria Pontario, Greater Somerset County. And heat number 5 is staging for the men. I'll give you those names. They're up there on your screen right now. And over on the women's side, your new leader, or your leader right now after one heat, 58.89, is Katie Colbert from Greater Monmouth. Nice swim for Katie Colbert, 58.89. And on the men's side, heat number 5 in the water, and that's Halaborda in 1, Dubak 2, North 3, Reese is in 4, Hidalgo in 5, Patterson 6, Gomez 7, and Staybach in 8. And on the women's side, heat number 2 will be Bolin in 1, Corby 2, Christie 3, McKyer 4, Scott 5, McAndrews 6, Kavanaugh 7, and Washington in lane number 8. So out first on the men's side, Bryce Patterson out in 24.85. Once again, time to beat on the men's side, 51.98. Mikael Rantala, he was in heat number 1. And finishing up on the men's side, Bryce Patterson, he goes 52.63. Nice swim for Bryce. And on the women's side, we're staging still for heat number 2. And over on the men's side, heat number 6 will be in the water with Franken 1, Graham 2, Wong 3, House 4, Vargas 5, Yost 6, and Gotti 7, and McLaughlin in 8. And here we are on the women's side with heat number 2 of 15. 16 heats on the men's side in total. And on the women's side, heat number 2 in the water. So again, we have the 100 back, 400 IM, and 200 free, and then 200 medley relay today, this morning. And we'll be back here for finals tonight with those top 24. So Washington out first on the women's side, Greater Monmouth. She's out in 27. Amira Washington up there in lane number 8. And the guys are off for heat number 6. So lane 8 up there, Amira Washington. Time to beat, 58.89. That was Katie Colbert. I'm sorry, Maria Pontorio. And it's a 58.35. So Amira Washington now your new leader on the deck unofficially through 2 heats. And on the men's side, Ryan House out in 25.50 from Greater Somerset. Heat 3 for the women, Patty in 1, Sirchak 2, Lee 3, Eckert 4, Kunin 5, Marino 6, Price 7, and Cooper in 8. Finishing up on the men's side, time to beat, 51.98. And right now that is Ryan House And he goes 52-53. Heat 7 for the men staging. It's Gustafsson in 1, Arnold 2, Ballard 3, Cheng 4, Pretty 5, Wyan 6, Chow 7, and Ferroni in 8. And over on the women's side, halfway through heat number 3, and it's Kunanen. She's out in 28-24. Ella Kunanen from YMCA Greater Nashua. And men's side, we have heat number 7, hitting the 25 wall. Finishing up on the women's side, it will be Sarah Zierchak. She goes 58-88. So top time remains with Amira Washington. Heat number 4 for the women. Now staging, it'll be McEnroe in 1, Savas 2, Obzarni in 3, Hatch 4, Brown 5, McLaren 6, Richard 7, and Fisher in 8. On the men's side, we'll be finishing up heat number 7. And it will be Jonathan Cheng from Wyckoff. Jonathan goes 52-74. Nice swim for Jonathan. And on the women's side, they are in now. On the men's side, staging heat number 8. Ben Joseph in 1, Pierce 2, Tinsley 3, Robidas 4, Niebrich 5, Breika 6, Owen 7, and Pennington in 8. Time to beat on the men's side, 51-98. Mikhail Rentala from Nashua. I said it again. Nashua. Greater Nashua. And on the women's side, out first was Katie Fisher up there in lane number 8, 27-86. Still leading up there in lane number 8. And here in lane number 5 on the men's side, that looks like Luke Nebrich having a bit of a lead there, and he's out in 24-66. And the field coming back on Fisher, but it will be Cami Hatch. She goes 58-08, and she is your new leader on the deck unofficially. She's from East Hampton Recreation Center. Next up on the women's side, Yoder 1, Johnson 2, May 3, Fusco 4, Lane 5, Healy 6, Shusavas Lekas in 7, and McGee in 8. And on the men's side, that is Luke Nebrich. He goes 52-11. Nice swim for Luke. And on the women's side, they're just moving off. So 58-08 is your new leading time on the deck, Cami Hatch. Heat 5 in the water for the women. Staging on the men's side, Van Erman in 1, heat 9, Gibbons 2, Vance 3, Aiken 4, Schaefer 5, Barwick 6, Jones 7, and Lagameo in lane number 8. So out at the 50 on the women's side, 27-64. And that's Gracie Yoder down here in lane number 1. So Gracie Yoder from Western Stark County. But now moving up in lane 2, it looks like Eliza Johnson from Western Branch. And the men are through also. Here we go with the women's time. And it will be Eliza Johnson at 58-14. Nice swim for Eliza. And on the men's side, out first on that heat, Keaton Barwick. So Keaton from Woodson, he was out in 25-00. Heat number 6 on the women's side. Now staging, just about ready to go. And on the men's side, it's Patrick Gibbons. He goes 51-99. So he is now your second fastest swimmer. Still, Mikhail Rentala at 51.98. Over on the women's side, we've got Conan in 1. This is heat 6, McKenzie 2, Mahomans 3, McRoberts 4. Annie Gow, thanks to her dad, Ben, this morning, trivia man. Cabasada in 6, Gow's in 5, Anderson 7, Montgomery in 8. So Milhoman's out in 28:07 on the women's side. Time to beat there is 58:08. Cammie Hatch. So far through 5 heats. On the men's side, Bagansky in 1, Ham 2. Garth Hoffner in 3, 5-4, Williams 5. Juhaz in 6, Gould 7. And Baishi in lane 8. This is heat number 10 on the men's side. On the women's side, finishing up. And it will be Sophie Milhoman's going 58:05. She is now your new leader on the deck. Sophie Milhoman's from Cheshire, Connecticut. Unofficially your leader on the deck. And on the men's side, out first there, Hayden Gould down here in lane number 7. On the men's course, it's lane number 1 at the top of your screen, and on the women's course, it's lane number 1 at the bottom of your screen. So trying to finish up strong here is Hayden Gould, and he does. He goes 51:40, so he is your new leader on the deck, is Hayden Gould. Nice swim by Hayden. All right, on the women's side, next heat up is heat 7. Ritter in 1, Ziner 2, Hoffman 3, Presley 4, Beverini 5, Jeffers 6, Judy 7, and Kennard in 8. Time to beat 58:08 so far through 6 heats. That's Sophie Milhoman's from Cheshire. On the men's side, we now have heat number 11 staging. Frondoza in 1, Patrick 2, Dietz 3, Funk 4, Miller 5, Rowan 6, Jaurigu in 7, and Adcock in 8. And on the women's side, fastest out right now, 28:27, Amelia Presley from Northwest North Carolina, out at the 50, center of the pool. And on the men's side, we'll see who's out first here. That looks like down in lane number 7, Lucas Jarugu. He's at 24:25. And on the women's side, we're finishing up. Time to beat 58:05, and we will be 58:01 for Samara Zeinert. Nice swim by Samara at 58:01. She now unofficially is your leader on the deck from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Heat number 8 now coming up, and on the men's side, finishing up there, Lucas Jaurigu. He goes 51:02, and he will be your new leader on the deck from Bayside. Nice swim by Lucas. So on the women's side, Sadowski in 1, Iman 2, Wowell 3, Habas 4, Perry 5, Grasso 6, Myler in 7, and Haas in 8. And over on the men's side, heat number 12 now staging. Beal 1, Eisenhofer 2, Kress 3, Stoll 4, Myers 5, Coogan Russell 6, Reddy in 7, and Gross in lane number 8. So on the women's side, out first, Julia Havas at 28:19 from York and York County. 58:01 is the time to beat. So far through 7 heats of 15 on the women's side. It will be 16 heats on the men's side. So heat number 12 just jumping in the water. We do have a missing swimmer. It looks like could be lane 6. That's Coogan Russell. And on the women's side, finishing up, that's Kira Haas. And Kira goes 58:53. She's from Upper Main Line. Nice swim by Kira. Next up on the women's side, heat number 9, Baker in 1, Berlin 2, Riot 3, Latimer 4, Wenzel 5, Wilson 6, Del Rosario in 7, and McBlain in 8. And on the men's side, heat number 12 now in the water. 51:02 is your time to beat on the men's side. 58:01 on the women's side. That's Samara Zeinert, 15 years old, from Oshkosh on the women's side. And on the men's side, Lucas Jaurigu. And on the men's side, out first, that's Myers. He's from Emmy Lyons, he's at 24:87. Hayden Myers. Once again, trying to get below that 51 mark. to be your leader on the deck before we start heading into the circle seated heats. And on the women's side, down here in lane 3, looks like Riot, and it'll be Myers, and he is under, so Hayden Myers at 50.95, your new leader on the deck. Nice swim for Hayden Myers from Emmy Lyons. And on the women's side, that was Katie Riot from Butler, Pennsylvania. We'll see if she'll be able to hold on, trying to move up as Grace McBlain out there in lane 8 also. But it will be 57.42, new lead time for Katie Riot from Butler, Pennsylvania. Next up on the women's side, on the men's side, actually heat 13 is in the water. Skibbo 1, Pham 2, Hoffman 3, Jewett 4, Wilkins 5. There's Bryce Wilkins. Rusnock in 6, Turley 7, and Kilponen in 8. I interviewed Bryce Wilkins' grandfather today, proud grandfather, and I'm sure his father Tom is very proud, also one of our Olympians here, one of our coaches for Greater Monmouth. So we'll see what Bryce can do today in this heat. But right now your leader was Dylan Jewett. On the women's, let's see where the men finish up here, and it will be Dylan Jewett going 49.78 going into the circle seated heats. That is your top time so far. Great job by Dylan Jewett. And then on the women's side right now, we've got out first is Ksenia Luniashina from Pocono Family Y. Caddy in 1, Schweiker 2, Bailey 3. Luniashina in 4, Bush 5, Francis 6, Boatsensek 7, and Bezenhout in lane number 8 on the women's side. They'll be finishing up here momentarily. And it's Kashina as she goes 57.06, and that is your new leader on the deck. And on the men's side, first of our 3 circle seated heats in the water. Stoltz in 1, Condon 2, Horan 3. Myers, 8th last year in this event, 4th in the 200 backs in 4. Barnacles in 5, 7th in the 2 back. Hools in 6. Hogan 7, and Beeson in 8. This is heat number 14 in the water. Condon not in lane number 2. And on the women's side, we've got heat number 11 in the water. I'll finish up that in a second, but we do have a 48.21 for Will Myers from Emmy Lyons, and he takes your lead on the deck with 2 heats to go. So there's Wool out in 27.27 down here in lane number 1 on the women's side. Fox in 2, Baumgarter 3, Wang 4, O'Leary 5, Scott 6, DePose 7, and Bloss in 8 for the women. On the men's side, we've got Colvin 1, Eckler 2, Payne 3. Jones was second in the 100 fly last night. He's in 4. Lane 5 is Welker, 7th last year, 8th in the 200 back last night. Quarterman 6th in the 200 back last night. He's in lane 6. Peyton Graziano's in 7, and John Brostrowitz in 8. So is Maria Wang. She goes 56.85. So a great swim right there from Marina Wang from upper mainline. Your leader remains Kashina Luniashina. And on the men's side, this is heat number 15 in the water. Second of our 3 circle seated heats. Center of the pool there in lane number 4, you've got Roman Jones. Next to him, Nathan Welker. And on the women's side, it's Baker in 1. And right now we've got Roman Jones at a 48.03, so now he takes over the top spot unofficially, Roman Jones, as we go into the final heat. On the women's side, it's Baker in 1, Keefe 2, O'Toole 3, Wearda 4, Kubiak 5, Jewett 6, Page 7, and Fox in 8. Out first on the women's side was Cambria Jewett from Nashua. And she was out in 27:45. We'll see where they finish up, and then we'll back over to the men's side with Daniel Deal in the pool. And there's your top finish, Cambria Jewett. She's at 56:42. Cambria Jewett, 56:42. Heading into the circle seeds on the women's side. And here on the men's side, final heat, Johnson in 1, Boyd 2, Gould 3. Daniel Deal in lane 4, won the 2 back last night in record time. He was second in this event last year. Lorenz is in 5, 6 last year, third in the 200 back. Kennedy 6, Reisner 7, and Lamb in 8.
On the women's side, heat 13, first there are 3 circle seated heats in the women's.
So pretty good swim there. Deal just stretching out at the end, heading in the morning swim. He goes 47:16, and he will hold down lane number 4. Sam Lorenz had a pretty good swim. He was 47:56. So we'll move over to the 400 IMs. And on the women's side right now, we're in our first of our 3 circle seated heats. Bendakis in 1, Lau 2, Lemler 3. Claire Logan third in this event last year, 4th in the 200 backs in 4. Schweikert's in 5, 9th last year, 3rd in the 200 back. And Clippard's in 6, Ramsey 7, and Bezudenhout is in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, the 400 IM is now staging. They'll get ready for that. And here come the women. Time to beat is 56:06. And right now we've got a 54:08 on the board for Claire Logan. Real good swim for Claire this morning at a 54:08. Now unofficially your leader on the deck. On the men's side, championship and national record is 344.08 in the 4 IM. Matt Fallon from Somerset Valley. This is heat number 1 of 9 on the men's side, now staging. Adds Volner in 3, Schwalm 4, and Halloran in 5. Over on the women's side, second of our 3 circle seated heats in the 100 back, you've got Amy Pan in 1, Thomas 2, Claiborne 3. Berlin is in 5. She swam the prelims last year in 54.6, seated much lower than that this year, 5th in the 100 fly last night. Habjan off to the Naval Academy this summer, I would imagine. 5th last year, 11th in the 2 back last night. She's in 5. Beams in 6. Dickinson's in 7. And Glass in lane number 8. Dickinson's 13 years old. She's up there in lane number 7. Keep an eye on her from Northwest Louisiana. So out first on the women's side is Elena Berlin. She's out in 25:51. As I mentioned, she's from Schrader, 16 years old. Lane 8 at the top of your screen on the women's course, and then lane 8 at the bottom of your screen on the men's course. Time to beat so far, 54:08. Claire Logan out of heat 13. And we've got a 53:29 for Alana Berlin from Schrader. Final heat coming up, third of our 3 circle seated heats. Heat 15 with Addison in 1, Colburn in 2, Sargent 3, Shackley, who won this last year and last night set national records in the 2 back and the 100 fly. She's from Blair Regional in 4. Rodriguez is in 5. She was second in the 2 back last night, 7th in this event last year. Holiday's in 6. Crudy in 7 and Kidney in 8. So Shackley off fast at .72 reaction time. And over on the men's side, as I mentioned, Daniel Volner is in 3, Grant Schwam 4, Nate Holleran in 5. Heat number 1 of 9, men's 400-yard individual medley. So Shackley's out in 24:71, followed by Rodriguez at 25:57. And Holleran right now on the men's side, he's from Columbia Northwest YMCA. He's leading the way right now in the breaststroke leg of the 4 IM. So here comes Shackley. New national record for Leah Shackley. She just tearing them down Fantastic for Aaliyah Shackley. Great swim, breaking Megan Small's championship meet record was 52:19. So there you have it. Leah Shackley goes 51:71. She'll hold down lane number 4. So the women are coming up now on in the 4 IM. The national record there, Megan Small, 4:03.96 from York and York County. Set back in 2015. 8 heats in total. Lagusin in 1, Lily Turco 2, Tiffany Falcomer in 3, Giulia Beverini in 4, Abby Biebel in 5, Catherine Simpson 6, and Ella Romberg will be in 7. And on the men's side, we're going to be finishing up here. Heat number 1. These guys are about stroke for stroke. It looks like Schwamm and Holiday. Schwamm in 4 with 50 to go. My goodness, they are only 24 hundredths of a second apart. With Schwamm the leader there, he's got to catch up a little bit. Holleran now in second, so we're still staging on the women's side. So Matt Fallon, as I mentioned, holds this national record. And there you go. You've got Grant Schwamm. He goes 4:14.90. And unofficially, he'll be your leader on the deck as we move through these 9 heats so far. 4:14.90 for Grant Schwamm. Grant from York and York County. Next up on the men's side, heat number 2. Owen Harmon from Spartanburg in 1. Joey Mahomans, Cheshire in 2. A.J. Farner, Birmingham in 3. Joey Meyer, Reading and Berks in 4. Noah Marchristy, Burlington, Camden County in 5. Nick Krogan, York and York County is in 6. Peter Zalewski, Cheshire is in 7. And Connor Marshall from Piedmont is in lane number 8. And over on the women's side, I'll mention those again. Ella Goosen, Westport Weston in 1. Lily Turco, Upper Main Line in 2. Tiffany Falcomer, York and York County in 3. Giulia Beverini from Greater Somerset County is in 4. Abby Biebel in 5 from Westfield. Catherine Simpson from Hickory, North Carolina is in 6. And Ella Romberg from Oshkosh is in lane 7. So Marshall from Piedmont on the men's side is out. First, he's up there. He's down here in lane number 8. So here we go, working our way through these 4 IMs. On the men's side, 9 heats. On the women's side, 8 heats. Heat number 2 is in the water right now for the men. And your leader from Cheshire, that is Peter Zalewski, halfway through the backstroke. He split on that first 50 of the back, 31.50. So that's your almost your fastest split. Farner was 31.27. And on the women's side, now moving through the backstroke, Ella Goosen from Westport Weston down here in lane number 1. She split 34.63 and is 2:10 moving into the breaststroke, 2:10.24. So Zalewski was at 1:57.65. He split 30.70 on that backstroke. But here comes the breaststrokers. And this field should start to even up a little bit as they're trying to chase down Peter Zalewski from the Cheshire Y Sea Dogs. And on the women's side, up there in lane 7, Catherine Simpson leading your way. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Ella Romberg, my bad. I was looking at lane 6 there. Ella Romberg at 2:50.43 halfway through the breaststroke. And now on the men's side, that's in lane number 3, looks to be A.J. Farner. He was 34.84 on that 50 of the breast. And now he was 2:34.12 halfway through the breaststroke. But now moving up out of lane number 5, Noah McChristie. We'll see what his split is here on this second 50. Farner 35.76. And McChristie was 36.00. So those two in the lead as they move into the last leg of the 100 freestyle of this 4IM. And we still have Ella Romberg. Boy, she split 39.63 on that last 50. She's at 3:30.06 with 100 to go. And on the men's side, it's Farner now opening up a bit of a lead over McChristie and Zalewski. So Romberg with 50 to go. She's at 4:01.82. Romberg's time coming in was 4:36. Got to make a push. Got to be underneath that 30. Let's drop it down there for Ella Romberg. And on the men's side, AJ Farner, he'll go 4:07.99. Good swim for AJ Farner. He came in at 4:13.83, and it will be Romberg at 4:32.99. So a nice swim for Ella. Drop, almost a big 4-second drop for her. And it's Farner on the men's side winning that heat. And here goes heat number 3 on the men's side. So Romberg, Babel, and Goosen on the women's side out of that heat in that order. Over on the men's side, we've got heat number 3 in the water. So we've got Lucas Abd from Hunterdon County in 1. Lane number 2, Bir Misra from Greater Somerset County. Lane number 3 is Chase Adams from Greater Monmouth. Lane number 4, Daniel Seong from Wyckoff. Lane number 5, Bobby Regan from the Regional YMCA Western Connecticut. Ben LaJoy in lane number 6 from Yoda. Lane 7, Jonah Reese from York and York County. And lane number 8, John Roseal from New Canaan, Connecticut. That's your lineup on heat number 3 of 9 in the men's 400 IM. We'll see who's out first. Looks to be lane number 3, Chase Adams. And it is Adams out in 55.44, leading the field through the 100 fly. On the women's side, we've got Sarah Fox in lane 1 from Upper Mainline, Giona Lavarini from Butler in lane 2, Josie Marino from Wyckoff in lane 4, Juliana Tyler from the Cheshire Y Sea Dogs, she's in lane 4, lane 5, Reese Riley from Blue Ash, lane 6, Caitlin Burke from Kennedy Jennersville, lane 7 is Anna Buchert from Greater Spartanburg, and Lily Mitchell is in lane number 8 from Emmy Lyons. And over on the women's side, Juliana Tyler is your leader at 1.
Hamilton Y coach to the time trial room.
0029 through that fly leg. That was a pretty good fly leg. Keep your eye on Sarah Fox also down here in a lane number 1. Now your leader at 1:34.50 halfway through the backstroke. And on the men's side, halfway through this heat, it's Adams, Chase Adams from Greater Monmouth. He's at 1:58.92. And up there next to him out of lane number 2 is Veer Misra from Greater Somerset County. And on the women's side, halfway through, that's Sarah Fox at 2:07.73, followed by Tyler, and then Caitlin Burke from Kennett Jennersville. On the men's side, now it's Veer Misra, followed by Chase Adams, and then Lucas Abd. Well, here comes Juliana Tyler. It's back and forth right now. So Tyler now over Fox, still Burke in 3rd. So it's 0.14 of a second separating Tyler and Fox. And Misra now Siang heading into the freestyle. Daniel Siang, the top seed in this heat from Wyckoff. He'll try to chase down Veer Misra. from Greater Somerset County. But Beer seems to be putting the juice on here. And Adams is picking up a little bit. He's at 29.09, so Adams trying to chase down. That would be that Chase Adams trying to chase down here in this rough. Also trying to get in the mix there is Daniel Siam. But on the women's side now, it's Juliana Tyler having a great swim here out of heat number 2. Time to beat on the women's side, 4:32.99. On the men's side, 4:07.99. And it will be Chase Adams at 4:10.00. Nice swim. And AJ Farner is your leader unofficially on the men's side. So Tyler still working her way through here on the last 25. Got a shot to be your early leader on the deck here. She can get there. And she will. She's at 4:30.49 for Juliana Tyler from Cheshire, Connecticut. Heat number 3 coming up on the women's side. And then on the men's side, we've got heat number 4 of 9. It's Davis Adcock from Upper Palmetto in lane number 1. Caden Wong from Summit, New Jersey in 2. Dan Godino from Regional Y, Western Connecticut in 3. Mayor Krieger from Birmingham, Michigan is in 4. Max Ruffer from Greater Somerset County is in 5. Alex Bauer from Indiana County in 6. Thompson Yatso from Schrader is in 7. And Tristan, there he is, Tristan Ronayne. Shout out to Tommy. Tommy's probably working hard somewhere, right? Anyway, that's heat number 4 lined up and in the pool now on their backs. And your early leader was Dan Godino from Regional Y, Western Connecticut. And on the women's side, heat number 3 in from lane number 1, Grace Curtis from Upper Mainline. Kaylin Ladd, Westchester. Lane 3 is McKenna Pottinger, York and York County. Lane 4, Emma Pitts from Hickory, North Carolina, Metropolitan Hickory, North Carolina. Lane number 5, Aveline Walsh, York and York County. Bridget Rinkowitz from Lakeland Hills is in 6. Dylan Eldridge from Greater Monmouth in 7. And Eve McGinnis from Greater Monmouth in lane 8. So Pottinger is out in 101.22, just ahead of Rinkowitz. So as they work their way through, Godino still your leader on the men's side at 158.55. So we'll see what Dan Godino will be able to do out of lane number 3 up top. But now looks like lane number 6 moving up is Alex Bauer from Indiana County. And it is Bauer now halfway through the breaststroke. So Bauer splits on that breaststroke, 50 going out, 33.58. And on the women's side, it's McKenna Pottinger. She's at 2:07.78 halfway through. Real good backstroke leg there. She was 33.05 coming back on the 100 back leg. McKenna Pottinger for York and York County. John Nelson and his staff really doing a great job there, as usual. And here we go, keeping on the men's side now. We've got Bauer, then Krieger, then Godino. But Bauer has opened it up. He was 33.97 coming back. So real good breaststroke leg there for Alex Bauer from Indiana County. Time to beat 4:07.99. Took a 4:03.86 to get into that C final last year. Now moving up there in lanes 7 and 8 on the women's side, Dylan Eldridge and Eve McGinnis on the breaststroke. We'll see who has the freestyle leg here on the women's side. And on the men's side, still Bauer. And then trying to move up is Godino and Krieger. But it'll be Bauer straight arming it in, and he goes 4:05.35. So he'll be your new leader on the deck on the men's side. Good swim for Alex Bauer. And up there on the women's side, overtaken here in the freestyle leg, that's Dylan Eldridge. And also trying to make a comeback is Grace Curtis down here, 14 years old from Upper Main Line. So these women are headed for home. And it will be, they got one more to go. My bad there. I'm sorry, I wasn't really looking at the clock. And on the men's side, heat number 5 is in the water. Anthony Garano from Piedmont in 1. Jacob Nawasiat in 2 from Upper Mainline. Maddox Turns from Greater Spartanburg's in 3. John Coletta from Countryside's in 4. Christian Henry from York and York County in 5. Robert Young from Greater Somerset is in 6. Braden Todd from York and York County is in 7. Eli Edmondson from Goldsboro in lane number 8. And Dylan Eldridge, she goes 4:31.50. Good swim there for the young lady from the Greater Monmouth YMCA. And Pottinger finishes up at 4:33. So Edmondson, your early leader from Goldsboro. Eli Edmondson down here in lane number 8 on the men's screen was out in 54.19. So still your leader on the women's side, Juliana Tyler at 4:30.49. So heat number 4 on the women's side now in the water. 8 heats in total. Paige Fisher in 1 from Upper Mainline. Cameron Smith in 2 from Piedmont. Jenna Nawaswiat is in 3 for Upper Mainline. Her brother, I guess that's her brother, Jacob Nawaswiat, right now currently swimming in lane number 2 on the men's side, heat 5. That's pretty cool. Lane number 4, Sophia Bellissimo from Lowe's. She's in 4, as I mentioned. Lane number 5, Caroline Byers from Greater Spartanburg. Lane 6 is Serena Dickey, Lakeland Hills. Lane number 7, Kelly Hassett, Birmingham. And Holly Lenars from St. Cloud is in lane number 8. Over on the men's side, Eli Edmondson, still your leader. He's down here in lane number 1 from beautiful Goldsboro, North Carolina. A great YMCA down there. Or I should say over there, wherever I am here in Greensboro. Not quite sure which drive. I think it's east of Greensboro toward the shoreline. Maybe a little bit southeast. But Edmondson still your leader, doing a great job through the breaststroke. Edmondson 35.04 on that front half of the breast. And on the women's side, Bellissimo 134.99. Bellissimo was 34.49 on that lead part of the backstroke. So now moving up out of lane number 4 is John Coletta for Piedmont, trying to chase down Eli Edmondson. And it's still Edmondson. He was 3:07.60. Coletta was 3:08.22. And in third on the men's side, Braden Todd was 3:11.04. A little work to do there to get in the top 3. And on the women's side, we've got Kelly Hassett now, your leader, up there in lane number 7. Your breaststroker's in, and that usually makes a difference. So Edmondson, now your leader, back almost a full second ahead of Coletta, and about 3.5 seconds ahead of Braden Todd. Here it's evening up on the women's side a bit. Up there in lane 7, Kelly Hassett still your leader, followed by Bellissimo in 4, and then Nawaswiat in 3. See if Edmondson can hold off, and he does. Eli goes 4:05.45. So he takes heat number 5. Eli Edmondson from Goldsboro. And on the women's side, looks like now down here in lane number 2 from Piedmont, it's Cameron Smith. She's at 3:28.32 heading into the freestyle. We'll see what our freestylers can do with their legs and arms and get back in it. Center of the pool now coming on strong. And on the men's side, heat number 6 in the water. Clayton Lohman from lacrosse in 1, Wiley Sykes from triangle 2, Braden Franklin is in 3 from Spartanburg. Enrique Iturbe Casano from Greater Somerset County's in 4. Lane number 6 is Jake Pravat from Spartanburg. Oliver Stoll in 7 from Spartanburg. And Iteben Yusuf from Randolph is in lane number 8. And over on the women's side, trying to finish up here, 4:30.49 time to beat, and they're just over that. So Juliana Tyler still has your top time. Winner of that heat was Kelly Hassett in 4:31.04, followed up by Cameron Smith and then Jenna Nawaswiat. Next up on the women's side, heat number 5 of 8. Lane number 1 from the Wahoo, Sydney Lillis. Lane number 2, Emma Villot from the YMCA Greater Nashua. Lane number 3 is Scout McQueen from Woodson. Lane number 4 is Addie Hirschbrunner from Oshkosh. Lane number 5, Emily Gal. Say back another shout out to Ben for being one of our trivia folks this morning from Greater Somerset County's in 5. Charlotte Trentalange from Greater Monmouth is in 6. Mary Kupski is in 7 from Wilkes-Barre, and Alyssa Kelly, her teammate, also from Wilkes-Barre, is in lane number 8. So Hirschburner out 27.47. And over on the men's side, it's Rike Iturbe Casano, your leader. He's in lane number 4, but charging hard right now. Jake Pravat in a lane number 6, not far behind. He was only 4/10 behind on that last split. So these gentlemen working their way through the breaststroke here at the 4 IM. And on the women's side, we'll be 1/4 of the way through this heat. And it will be Addie Hirschberger at 58.59, followed by Emma Villot and then Sydney Lillis.
In the C-final, men's 100-yard backstroke, Will Kilpanen, Hayden Myers, Bradley Boyd, Patton Graziano, Rayburn Cole, Jake Kennedy, John Rusnott, Lucas Darby, Bayside.
So Iturbe Casano, still your leader on the men's side. 3/4 of the way through. He was 3:06.58, followed by now Braden Franklin just behind him, about less than a second, and then Jake Pravat. And on the women's side, we still have Hirschbrunner, Addie Hirschbrunner from Oshkosh, and then Sydney Lillis down here in lane number 1 from the Wilton Y Wahoos. And she's working her way through down here in lane number 1 in the yellow cap. And then Scout McQueen. On the men's side, Rike Iturbe Casano will be finishing up. Trying to go that 4:05 or under for that lead time, and it will be a good time at 4:01.91, followed by Pravat and then Franklin. So Enrique Iturbe Casano, he goes 4:01.91 out of heat number 6 of 9. So these ladies working their way through the breaststroke. It still was Hirschbrunner and then Lillis, but that has changed now through the breaststroke. It is Hirschbrunner, McQueen below, then Lillis down here on the bottom of your screen. You can see those 4 lanes, 1 through 4, 1 at the bottom of your screen. Over on the men's side now, we've got heat number 7 of 9 in. Liam Aylman from Western North Carolina in 1. Caden Fodda, 32nd last year from York in 2. Connor Mangan from Lower Bucks, he was 21st in the 200 back last night. Or I'm sorry, from Central Bucks He's in 3. Max Moore, 48th last year, 5th in the 2 breast last night from Piedmont's in 4. Tommy Mao, upper main lines in 5. Jack Hensley, 43rd last year from Lancaster and Fairfield, is in 6. Peter Schmelzer, Emmy Lyons in 7, and Will Crawl from Fanwood Scotch Plains in 8. So over on the women's side, we've got the freestylers in, and now your leader, 3:27.18, is Emma Below. Emma Below from Greater Nashua. And on the men's side, Tommy Mao leading through the fly at 53.85. So we'll see what he can do on his back to try to hold things together. But it's Below, and then Hersbrunner, and then Trenchalaz, and then Lillis. There's your top 4 as they head for home. Your time to beat 4:30.49. That was a good time by Juliana Tyler back in heat number 2. And it will be Below. She goes 4:29.96. So she is now your leader on the deck unofficially. Emma Below, 4:29.96. Nice swim, ladies. And on the men's side now. See where we are over here on that course. Tommy Mao still your leader, but creeping up is Connor Mangan from Central Bucks. As these gentlemen work their way through, it looks like Mangan now your leader. Here comes Caden Fada from York and York County. Always a good breaststroker. Yeah, Caden comes on strong in that second 50 of that breast. Just behind Connor Mangan from Central Bucks, and their coaches Tim Ryan, and you'll see now Fada moving ahead. John Pfaff also coaching up there at Central Bucks in beautiful Bucks County, putting together a strong effort here at Wynats. Emmeton Hunfeld, Kettering, Ohio, center of the pool on the fly leg here. And it's 10 Hunfeld out 59.84. Gentlemen are in their freestyle leg right now, and it looks strong for Caden Fada. On the women's side, we have Ava Supkin first in 1,000 the other night. And last year was mile champ. Emmy Lyons in 1. Delaney Franklin, 24th last year in this event from Greater Spartanburg. He's in 2. Bella Hoffman, 26th last year from Hunter, is in 3. Emma Ten Hunfeld, 26th in 2IM last year from South Kettering. Lane number 5 is Layla Welsh, 17th last year, 29th in the 2 breast from Piedmont. Lane 6, Devin Sargent. She swam this event, was 19th last year in the prelims from Upper Mainline. Julie Addison, 31st last year from Piedmont, is in 7. Olivia Corby from Upper Palmetto is in lane 8. So Devin Sargent from Upper Mainline. And on the men's side, wow, Liam Kale comes back 26.68, goes 4:01.89, and is now your leader on the deck. So real good swim there on that freestyle leg from the young man from Western North Carolina, Liam Ailman, going into the circle seeded heats. 4:01.89 your top time through 7 heats on the men's 4IM. And the ladies are working their way through this breaststroke leg. Emma Ten Hunfeld way out right now. She was 2:04 at that last split. Here we go on the men's side. Heat number 8, first of our 2 circle seeded heats in the men's 400 IM. Lane number 1 is Nick Bacall, 21st last year from Spartanburg. Lane number 2, 10th last year, Jack Smith from Piedmont. Lane number 3 is Angus McDonald, 4th last year, 3rd in the 200 breast from Birmingham. Lane number 4, Kaylin Ambar, 2nd in this event last year, 2nd in the 2 breasts last night from Duquesne. And Tyler Quarterman, 31st last year, He swam the 100 back earlier. We'll have to see where he's seated going into tonight from Boise. Lane number 6 is Owen Markowitz, 17th last year, 7th in the 1,000 from Lakeland Hills. Lane 7, Greg Lynn, 39th last year, one of our student athlete representatives to our national committee from Greater Monmouth. And lane number 8, Nathan Spetz, 41st last year from Powell Crosley in 8. And over on the women's side, we'll see where we are. It's still Emma Ten Hunfeld, 15 years old from South Kettering, having a great swim. As I mentioned last year in this meet, she did swim the 2 IM, was 26th as a 14-year-old. So with 50 to go, we have down here at Ava Supton. Keep your eye on her because she was our 1,000 champ. So we expect to have some closing speed from Ava Supton from Emmy Lyons as she's trying to work her way into a final swim. They've got 2 heats after this, the circle seated heat. So here comes Ava Supton. Yeah, she was 29.76 on that last split. See where she is coming back. And she was 29.21, and she finishes up first in that heat with a 4.26. So that now is your fastest time through all of those heats, which are 6 heats. 4.26.19 for Ava Supton. And on the men's side, as they keep working their way, here comes Kalen Anbar. We had a nice conversation with Rowdy about Kalen last night as he's working his way through. He was second in his event last year, so he'll be in this circle seated heat. He was second in the 2 breast last night. So Anbar at 2:25.41 through that breaststroke point. He was 32.68. Bill trying to move up slightly on him. Angus McDonald in there into the freestyle with Anbar, your leader, at 2:57.81. So over on the women's side, first of our 2 circle seated heats, lane number 1 is Sophia Youssef from Lakeland Hills. Olivia Herbert, 6th last year, 9th in the 2 breast from regional wise in 2. Lane number 3, Julia Bardo, 4th last year, 13th in the 2 back from Cheshire's in 3. Hayden Penny, 2nd in this event last year from Greater Spartanburg's in 4. Izzy Pfeiffer, 14th last year, 9th in the 1,000, 16th in the 2 breast so far this week from New York is in 5. Lizzie Washburn, 5th last year, 12th in the 100 fly from Summit is in 6. Lane number 7 is Zoe Schneider, 3rd in the 1,000 from York and York County. And lane number 8, Gabby Augustine, 4th in the 200 breast last night from Chippewa Valley. That's first. That is heat number 7 of 8. Hayden Penny out first at 58.37. And on the men's side, it's Kalen Anbar at 3:54.86. A real good swim by Kalen. Morning swim. We'll see what he can do later tonight. Anbar, Quarterman, and McDonald. Not separated by much, those gentlemen on the board now as we head into our final heat on the men's side for the 4 IM. So Anbar, your new leader, and heat number 9 of 9, second of our 3 circle seated heats for the men's 400 IM in the water. Justin Dostal is in lane number 1, 15th last year from Emmy Lyons. Wooby Kupski, 15th and 2 back the other night from Wilkes-Barre's in 2. Lane number 3 is Sean Kelty, 24th last year, 23rd in the 1,000 from Hickory is lane number 4, Isaac Flagg. He won the 1,000 the other night. From Schrader, lane number 5, David King, 3rd in this event last year, 2nd in the 2 back from Piedmont. Lane number 6, Reese Stoner, 5th last year, 5th in the 200 back from Yoda. Lane number 7, Andrew Sieber, 18th last year from Greensboro. And in lane number 8, Isaac Carr, 36th last year from Champaign County. And over on the women's side here, looks like Hayden Penny. I mentioned she was a runner-up last year from Spartanburg. Spartanburg always, and Coach Dan has it going down there, has a great showing here at Y Nats. Always a real good showing. Spartanburg, South Carolina, traditionally one of the stronger teams nationally for the YMCA movement. So Penny well out in front. Time to beat, 4:26.19. Ava Supton out of heat number 6. And on the men's side, looks like David King, not Isaac Flagg, David King from Piedmont. Time to beat 3:54.86 was Kaylin Anbar. So King from Piedmont, third in this event last year. I mentioned Kaylin was second in this event last year. And on the women's side, Hayden Penny, and followed by Julia Bartow from Cheshire, and then Olivia Herbert, one of her neighbors in that state, from Regional Y, Western Connecticut. They're down here in lanes 2 and 3. Herbert in 2, Bartow in 3. They're eyeing each other up and pushing for home now on the women's side. Hayden Penny. Again, your time to beat 4:26 will be well below that, so this will set the new standard coming in for Penny Greater Spartanburg as she goes 4:15.95. Great swim by Hayden Penny, and she is unofficially your leader on the deck through 7 heats of the women's 400 IM. David King still your leader on the men's side, 2:59.16, so under 3:00 as he's going to push for home here. What got you into the A final last year was a 4:00.69. We saw Ambar go 3:54.86. But now here comes Isaac Flagg. He was 28.29 on that first 50. Will he be able to chase down King as these gentlemen work their way through the last 50? Up there in lane number 2 from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Whoopi Kupski. He's trying to move up into that, get into that final heat. And it will be, here comes Isaac Flagg trying to make a move, but it will be David King at 3:55. So that's your second seed. Kaylin Ambard, he'll hold down. So 3:55.43 for David King, followed by Flagg, and then Kupski, Whoopi Kupski from Wilkes-Barre in that final heat. They'll move over to the men's 200 freestyle. And then on the women's side, final heat in 8 of 8. That's Megan Tiernan, 7th last year, 4th in the 1,000 from Cheshire. She's in lane 1. Lily Zippel, 22nd last year, 27th at the 2 back from Schrader's. And lane number 3 is Molly Iacoviello, 38th in this event last year, 5th in the 2 back from York and York County. Lane number 4, your top seed and defending champion. She also was 2nd in 100 fly last night from Greater Somerset County, is Emily Thompson. In lane number 5, Virginia Hastings. She'll be a Bison this fall at Bucknell. She was 11th in this event last year. Just came out of, or will be going into the 200 free a little bit later. She was 30th in the 2 back yesterday from the Wilton Y Wahoos. Lane number 6, Billy Sherratt, 10th last year, 15th in the 100 fly last night from Fanwood Scotch Plains. Erica Maltzy, 12th last year, 20th in the 2 back, Greater Somerset County. And lane number 8, Catherine Bashane, 50th last year, 8th in the 1,000 from Farmington Valley. Over on the men's side, we have heat. It's a men's 100 backstroke reswim. I'm not sure, but it is Ryan West from Yoda making a push, so we'll watch him. Not sure, they didn't give me the info on this, but Bruce will be able to tell us if I can hear him on the PA announce. Once again, thanks for joining us as we stream live here in the Greensboro Aquatic Center, beautiful Greensboro, North Carolina, for our Centennial 2023 YMCA Short Course Nationals. See what Ryan can do here. And he goes 54.21. That was a reswim for Ryan. Not sure exactly why, but here are the women. They're pushing their way through it. It's Thompson, our top seed, our defending champion, out in front. Followed by down here lane 2, Zippel. Lily Zippel from Schrader And then Megan Tiernan down here in lane number 1. All right, we'll keep our eye on this field as they head into the freestyle. We'll see some freestylers trying to pull up and make their way back. Try to get in that top 3 to get into that final heat. Usually that top 3 will be good for the final heat. Men's 200 freestyle now staging. Championship and meet record. Brendan Birds, 134.15. Set back in 2019 from Upper Mainline. 14 heats in total. Heat number 1 now staging. And on the women's side, it's still Thompson. Here comes Hastings. She split a 29.82 on that first 50, trying to get back into that 3rd spot. At least we've got a little bit of a battle going on, but it's Thompson, and then down here Tiernan in 2nd and Zippel in 3rd. Brown Hastings, she's trying to move up here, try to get into that 3rd spot, and she'll just be outside of it. She'll move into the 4th spot. But that was Emily Thompson going 4:17.02. So your top time, Hayden Penny, going into tonight. Over on the women's side now, we've got the women's 200 freestyle, your championship and national record, 144.10, except last year, Anna Mosch. 12 heats in total, heat number 1 coming up. And on the men's side right now, lane number 3 is Ryan Sutherland, 4 is Cash Waltz, 5 is Owen Higginbotham, and 6 is Nick Krogan. And then on the women's side, in lane 2 with Gabrielle Jones, Maddie Deeney. 4 is in 3. Lane 4 is Savannah Oravitz. Lane 5 is Michelle Kubiak. Lane 6 is Grace Brunk. 7 is Kendall May Jan. So on the men's side, they are 150 through, and your leader is Owen Higginbotham from Fanwood Scotch Plains. He's at 116.16 in lane number 5. Once again, if you're watching the men's course, it's lane 1 at the top of your screen, and on the women's side, it's lane 1 at the bottom of your screen. So in the water for the women, they're going to be working their way through that 50, but it will be Higginbotham, and he goes 142.52 out of heat number 1. He is unofficially your leader on the deck, Owen Higginbotham. 14 heats in total. That was heat number 1 on the men's side, and on the women's side now finishing up heat number 1. Down here in lane number 2, looks like your leader Gabrielle Jones from Upper Perkiomen Valley, Pennsylvania. And she goes 55.62, so unofficially you're a leader on the deck through 1 heat. 12 heats in total on the ladies' side. On the women's side, heat number 2 for the men is in now. Lane 1, McGeehan, 2 Zalewski, 3 Aguilar, 4 Hahn, 5 is Swenson, 6 Ham, 7 Bird, and 8 Ritchie. Looked like Hahn was out first at 23.96. And on the women's side, Stanton in 1, Bright 2, McGann 3, Jeffers 4, Abel 5, McAndrew 6, Duval 7, and Hinson in 8. And on the women's side, it was Jones out first in 29.68. Hahn still your leader at 50.02 on the men's side. Jones down here in lane number 2. I'm sorry, this is heat number 1 in the water. I got ahead of myself, and that's heat number 1 finishing up. My apologies. So Jones, she finishes up 155.13. I did announce heat 2 of 12 already, but it's Stanton from Boise in 1, Bright, Lancaster and Fairfield in 2, McGann from Westchester in 3, Jeffers from Nashua in 4, Abel from Perkiomen Valley in 3, Upper Perkiomen, McAndrew from Fanwood Scotch Plains in 6, Duval in 7 from Springfield, Illinois, and Hinson, York and York County in 8. On the men's side, that's Jed Ritchie. He goes 143.63. So Jed Ritchie from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, goes 143.63 to take heat 2. Higginbotham still your leader unofficially, 142.42. So Hinson out first on the ladies' side at 26.17. She's up there in lane number 8. Kalia Hinson. On the men's side, Tasker in 1, Hinckley 2, Farner 3, Zal 4, Madden 5, Osba 6, Stakowskis in 7, and Farraher in 8. This is heat number 3 of 14 on the men's side. Heat number 2 in the water for the women. Out right now, halfway through, 55-55. Was Lindsay Bright from Lancaster in Fairfield. Early leader on the deck for the women's, 155.13, Gabrielle Jones. Osbus out at the 100 on the men's side from Greater Somerset County. He's out at 49.20. Darren Osbus, Greater Somerset County. Men 150 through, women heading for home. And winner on the out of heat number 2 on the women's side, that's Madeline Abel. She goes 154.47, and she'll be your leader on the deck unofficially. Madeline Abel from Upper Perkiomen Valley, Pennsylvania. And on the men's side, that's Ben Madden. He goes 143.94. Ben Madden from New Canaan, Connecticut. And on the women's side, heat number 3 now in the water. O'Keefe in 1, Dosh in 2, Ritter 3, Perry 4, McAndrew 5, Henderson 6, Wells 7, and Roberts in 8. And on the men's side, heat number 4 now in. Easton in 1, McQuiston 2, Lonsbury 3, Hamilton 4, Edmondson just coming out of that IM. He's in lane number 5. Vance in 6, Stratton 7, and Tanksley in lane 8. Vance out in 23.35 on the men's side, and about halfway through on the women's side, it will be Maren McAndrew at 55.38, splitting 29.05 on that last 50. So as we work our way through this last individual event for the morning, the 2 medley relay about 15 minutes after each of these events are done on the men's and women's side. He's zipping through those 200 medley relays. Perry from YMCA at Triangle, Sophie Perry now your leader, 124.89. And on the men's side, halfway through, Vance was still your leader. Vance from Jefferson City area, YMCA. Pretty even field on the men's side, and the women will be finishing up here. Time to beat 154.49. We've got a 153 for Sophie Perry from the Triangle area, 153.65. She unofficially is your new leader on the deck. And on the men's side, Eli Edmondson having another good swim. He's ready for this meet, ladies and gentlemen. 7/100s over Cody Lounsbury. So Edmondson goes 143.82. And that's a real good swim for the young man from Goldsboro, North Carolina, followed by Lounsbury. And on the women's side, heat number 4 in. So we've got Wolf in 1, Slavinsky 2, Walsh 3, Harkins 4, Bogan in 5, Carl 6, Mesher 7, and Chow in lane number 8. Over on the men's side, heat number 5, it'll be Volkhoff in 1, Voss 2, Moon 3, Berkowitz 4, Vickers 5, King 6, Wool 7, and Mascarinas from Canaan in lane number 8. Reaction time there was 0.65 for Berkowitz from the Water Rats, Westport Weston. And on the women's side, early leader through the 50, 29.03 out for Ivy Slavinsky from Greater Monmouth. And on the men's side, your early leader was Luke Vickers at 23.79. So heat 4 in for the women, heat 5 in for the men. Time to beat so far on the women's side, Sophie Perry 153.65. On the men's side, Owen Higginbotham, Fanwood Scotch Plains out of heat number 1 was 142.42. And Slavinsky at 150 through on the women's side from Greater Monmouth. She is 124.45, and on the men's side, your leader is Vickers at 49.95. He's the only guy under 50 point. Here in heat number 5, halfway through. Working through the 150 now. It's James. Here comes Deacon Mascarenas. So Deacon Mascarenas from New Canaan down here in lane number 8, your leader now. And on the women's side, 154.15 for Slavinsky. Nice swim from the young lady from Greater Monmouth County. Up in beautiful Jersey Shore. So Mascarenas, he goes 142.97. Good swim there for the young man from New Canaan. And now on the women's side, heat number 5, we've got Gowetzky in 1, Spetz 2, Dalton 3, Potteralla in 4. Ava 10 Hunfeld in 5, Sharma in 6, Kennedy 7, and Gill in 8. And over on the men's side, heat number 6 in the water. Hagenauer in 1, Pennington 2, Council 3, Nist 4, Grant in 5, Wang 6, Ortega in 7, and Pottsma in lane number 8. Ortega out first, 23.04. Nice swim going out for Hugo Ortega from Racine, and on the women's side it was 26.15 for Avery Potteralla from the Cheshire Y Sea Dogs. And Sean Farrell doing a great job once again up there in central Connecticut. Ortega still your leader at 49.06. Nice 26.02 split. Now trying to move up. 25.51 for Holden Nist. Heat 6 in the water for the men, heat 5 in the water for the women. Top time for the women, Sophie Perry so far at 153.65, and on the men's side, your top time still 142.42. We got a heat number 1 for Owen Higginbotham from Fanwood Scotch Plains, New Jersey. On the men's side, trying to hold on down here in lane number 7, Hugo Ortega from start to finish. And on the women's side, finishing up there, looks like Megan Sharma. She goes 154.27, and Ortega, he goes 142.31. So now a new leader on the deck, Hugo Ortega, 142.31 through 6 heats. That's unofficial. And on the women's side, heat number 6 now in the water. We've got Watson in 1, Lang 2, DeGennaro in 3, Gusson in 4, Dugan in 5, Worrell in 6, McNamara 7, and Bacall in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, heat 7 now entering. McCrae in 1, Amon 2, Woshner 3, Platnoff in 4, Weiss 5, Standridge in 6, Robidas in 7, and Pilger in lane number 8. Top time on the men's side now 142.31. Hugo Ortega, Racine, just did that in the last heat. And on the women's side, 153.65, Sophie Perry from Yoda. Dugan on the women's side at 55.22 from Greater Monmouth down to lane number 5 right there. Nice back second lead 50 here on the Stainbridge on the men's side at 48.84, your leader. Lucas Stainbridge from Greater Somerset County. Still Dugan on the women's side through 150 at 124.57. Followed by Gussin and tied with Ellie McNamara. And the men through 150, Cooper Weiss, he's at 115.36. Splits 26.35 on that last 50. So Cooper Weiss, next to him Lucas Stainbridge. So Weiss from Yoda, Stainbridge from Somerset County. And on the women's side, back comes Ellie McNamara. She goes 154.24. So Ellie McNamara from Westchester wins that heat. And on the men's side, Cooper Weiss, he goes 142.42. So he's now tied with Owen Higginbotham. Top time remains on the men's side. You've got Tara at 142.31. Over on the women's side, heat number 7 now in. We've got Pass Hulk in 1, Hatzis in 2, Latimer 3, Luttrell 4, Bauer 5, McEnroe 6, Fisher 7, and Gangaway in 8. And over on the men's side, heat number 8 in the water. Booth in 1, Schwab in 2, Paleokrasis in 3, Shu in 4, Wilkins 5, Nebrich in 6, Ayers in 7, and Grissy in lane number 8. Men's side top time 142.31. Hugo Ortega. And on the women's side, Sophie Purry at 153.65 is your leader on the deck unofficially. Heat 7 in for the women. Had us out in 55.09. And on the men's side, Nebrich was out 22.68 at the 50. And right now, Paleokrasis, your leader at the 100 at 49.09. That's your fastest split so far going out at the 100 here in the men's 200 freestyle. And on the women's side, still down here in lane number 2, that's Mia Hatzis. Regional Y, Western Connecticut, Jason Page jumping up and down on the sideline along with Karen Roth. Paleokrasis through the 150, just ahead of Wilkins. So we've got Bryce Wilkins in the pool. Had a great chance to interview his grandfather this morning. Saw his dad. He was proud of Bryce's dad, proud of his grandfather. His son's grandfather. So over on the women's side, Hatzis goes 152.59. That's a good swim for Hatzis. And on the men's side, 141.92. So Stancis Paleokrasis, 141.92. Now your leader on the deck, as is Mia Hatzis at a 152.59. So unofficially, those are your 2 leaders on the deck through heat 7 of the women and heat 8 of the men. On the women's side, heat 8 now in the water. Schweikert in 1, Napier in 2, Davis 3, Robinson 4, O'Toole 5, Shannon 6, Sanders 7, and Rourke is in 8. Over on the men's side, heat number 9. Up on the blocks, Rayborn in 1. Blossom 2. Sitzma in 3. Kunzel in 4. Strat 5. Gauthier 6. Wade 7. And Bachelor in 8. And over on the women's side, out at the 100, Lily Robinson from Upper Mainline. She's out 54.49. Fastest split going out so far for the 18-year-old. And on the men's side, early leader, Ben Sitzma. He was out 23.37, 1/4 of the way through. rapid area. And work their way. And a 152. 19. I'm sorry, 150. Yeah, 152.19 for Kimberly Shannon from Greater Susquehanna Valley. Now your new leader on the deck unofficially. Over on the men's side, Sitzman at 115 with 50 to go. Heat number 9 in the water for the women. Goodwin in 1, Page 2, Pan 3, Kopschneider in 4, Cadillac 5. That's Riley. Schulich in 6, Krall 7, and Dietzwiller in lane number 8. The men are heading for home time to beat 141.92. And there it is, Owen Weibel. He goes 141.49. Nice swim out of lane number 1. Owen Weibel followed by Sitzma and then Wade. And unofficially, Owen Weibel now your leader on the deck. And on the women's side, out first was Amy Penn at 25.39. And here come the men. Rennert in 1, Jordan 2, Lapine 3, Staubach 4, Nye 5, Bates 6, Redding 7, and Jen Kowiak in lane number 8. This is heat number 10 in the water. Pan out at 53. 61, you're a leader there.
Grace Curtis, Izzy Pfeiffer, Reese Riley, Aileen Walsh, top qualifier in the B final from York. Tied for second.
Women working their way through the 150, and Amy Pan, fastest split through the 150, 122.74. Lapine at 48.45. That's your fastest split so far. He's from Schrader, 15 years old, through the 100. And here we are on the women's side. It will be 151.87. So Amy Pan, now your leader unofficially on the deck from Farmington family. Coming up on the circle seated heats on the women's side. We'll work our way through those introductions here momentarily as we watch the men finish up. We're trying to get below 141.49, which was Owen Weibel from Fanwood Scotch Plains, and we are. Zach Redding, he goes 140.48. So Redding, now your leader on the deck unofficially from Western Branch, Delaware. Here we are in our first circle, first circle seat of the women heat number 10 in the water. Zoe Erkilian, 22nd last year, is in 1. Foster, 32nd last year, is in 2. Hastings from the Wilton Waiwahoo, 75th last year in this event, is in 3. Fulton, 4th last year in this event, 7th in the 100 fly, is in 4. Way, 10th last year, 15th in the 100 fly, is in 5. McLaughlin, 12th last year, 10th in the 200 back, is in 6. Wilson, 19th last year, is in 7. Dickinson, 12th in the 2 breast, is in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, heat number 11 in the water. Shutton is in 1, Edwards 2, Myers 3, Hidalgo 4, Kavanaugh 5, Eyeshot 6, Green 7, and Williams in 8. So 140.18, Zach Redding, time to beat out of heat number 10 so far. And Edwards out in 48.62 on the men's side, and on the women's side, Alexa Fulton was 52.98 going out. That's your fastest climb so far through 100 on the women's side. And pushing for the 150 mark. And right now, Ben Eichscheid, he's at 115.08, your leader, ahead of Myers. And that's Fulton finishing up at a 148.79. So Fulton now your leader on the deck. And on the men's side, that's 141.10 for Braden Myers. Nice swim for Braden from Pal Crosley, the Tiger Sharks, followed by Eyeshide. Second number 3 circle seated heats in for the women. Heat number 11, Mitchell in lane 1, 46 last year. Padilla, 18th last year in this event. 10th in the 100 fly is in 2. Murray, 47th last year, is in 3. Gring, 6th last year. 4th in the 100 fly is in 4. Unruh, 11th last year. 27th in the 100 fly is in 5. Bull, 28th last year. 30th in the 100 fly is in 6. Laganelli, 20th last year. 18th in the 1,000 is in 7. And Kroger, 68th last year, is in lane number 8. Over on the men's side, first of our 3 circle seated heats in the water. Watkins, 60th last year, is in 1. Kraft in 2. Brown, 11th last year, is in 3. Davis is in 4. Estep is in 5. Gordon, 18th last year, is in 6. Muller, 15th last year, is in 7. And Kudafaris is in lane number 8. So Brown's out in 47.10. That's your fastest split going out. On the women's side, we have Gring out in 52.62. Right now, for Alexa Fulton is your leader on the deck at a 148.79. And on the men's side, working their way through the 150, that's Brown at 112.02. So Sydney Gring, I think she's going out to pit this year. He's at 120.31 through the 150, trying to get below that 148.79 set by Fulton in the earlier heat. She's at 147.88. Great swim right there for Sydney Gring from from Boyertown. Followed by Murray and then Bull. And then on the men's side, we had 137.24 by Will Brown. That is your new leader on the deck. Will Brown from Piedmont. Great swim right there. And over on the women's side, final heat, third of our 3 circle seated heats is in the water. Heat number 12. Lawrence is in 1, 6th in the 100 fly. Brostowitz in 2, 8th last year, 2nd in the 2 breast last night. Avery Kudlak, 14th last year, 13th in the 100 flies in lane 3. Anna Mosh, our national record holder, and defending champions in lane number 4. And lane number 5, Samantha Clifford, 9th last year. Fitzgerald's in 6th, 7th last year, 5th in the 1,000 this week. Winnicki is in 7 and Corby is in 8. Evan Blazer on the men's side out in 22.29. And the second of our 3 circle seated heats on the men's side is Rising in 1. Blazer, 23rd last year's in 2. Zartoriski is in 3, 10th last year. Taylor, 9th last year's in 4. Rob Alexi, 5th last year's in 5. Mills, 46th last year's in 6. Twist, 19th last year's in 7. And Richards, 22nd last year, is in lane number 8. And on the women's side, it's Katie Lawrence down here in lane number 1. She's at the 150 at 120.56, leading the way. Most she's got her in her sights, taking it nice and easy this morning. And here on the men's side, out of lane number 4, Camden Taylor looking pretty strong. He was 9th in this event. He's from Rock River Valley. Anna Moshe's at 148.75, and that concludes our women's 200 freestyle and all of our individual events. Camden Taylor, he goes 137.62. Right now, that's your second fastest time. And your final heat coming up on the men's side, third of our 3 circle seated heats. And out of lane number 1 will be Mayer. He was 14th last year in this event. Menchhofer, 36th last year in this event. Sullivan is in lane 3. Menchhofer's in 2. He was 8th in this event last year. Our runner-up from last year, Brendan Whitfield's in lane 4. He won the 100 fly last night. Lane number 5 is Nolan Miller, 4th last year. Lane 6, Kessler 20th last year. Lane 7, 40th last year was Duncan, and lane number 8 is Blake.
200-yard freestyle award does include Brendan Whitfield Lynchburg, finished second in this event last year. Finally, E14 and 4.
As we work our way through here, we've got Whitfield out in 22:07. That's your fastest split going out from Lynchburg. Brendan Whitfield, as I mentioned, he won the 100 fly last night. Having a pretty good meet. He was our fastest split last night on the relay at the end. Whitfield. And on the 2 free relay, he was our fastest split. That's what I meant to say. Low 19. So you can see Whitfield working his way through 46:26 right now. Through the 100, followed by Sullivan and Menchhoffer. A fairly sizable lead over the field.
Share your YUSA Y National story with our folks from YUSA. They're collecting your stories about swimming, coaches, swimmers.
Even an up here between
athletes and officials.
Menchhoffer, Sullivan, and Nolan Miller, but it'll be 136-17, and Whitfield should hold down lane number 4 tonight as we move into the finals. So we have a 15-minute break or so. We'll be back here in that amount of time. So some great swimming this morning, setting us up for tonight's start of our finals session. We'll be back here with the relays, and they will be the 200 medley relay, I believe, is up next. It is on the women's side and the men's side. Probably start the women's side a little bit before the men's, but be back here soon. And my name's Bob McDowell. Thanks for joining us this morning. Don't forget, one more event to go. Those are the relays from the greater Greensboro area and the Greensboro Aquatic Center for our centennial year 2023 National YMCA Short Course Swimming Championships.
We see you doing the cha-cha slide in section number 2. You've got a little action going on this morning. Thank you, section 2. Great way to get up and move. You've been sitting the whole morning. Nice job, Spirit Squad. Nice job, Spirit Squad. Birmingham and Central Bucks to the time trial round. Birmingham and Central Bucks to the time trial round. Thank you. Please clear the women's court. We'll restart our dance party in another minute. Please clear the women's court. We'll give
And welcome back. We're getting ready to stage, or they are staging, the women's 200-yard medley relay. This is our 2023 YMCA National Short Course Swimming Championships, our centennial year, and we are streaming live from the Greensboro Aquatic Center here in Greensboro, North Carolina, the beautiful city, Tournament Town, USA. 9 heats of the women's 200 medley relay. Your championship and national record set by Piedmont last year. Bradley, Bendall, Davis, and Thomas. They were 140.62. Heat number 1 in the water, Westfield 1, Ridley 2. Geneva Lakes 3, Birmingham 4, Blue Ash 5, Pocono 6, Franklin 7, and Columbia Northwest in lane number 8. Owen 1, Kubiak 2, Wall 3, Anderson 4, Wagner 5, Lunio Sheena in 6, Bloss 7, and Kogan in 8. Over on the men's side, there'll be 10 heats. And they'll be staging here momentarily to get started. What did it take to get back to the B final last year on the women's side? Was 147.05. Get into the A final last year was 144.51. So your leaders on the deck, that's Pocono out in 26.28. Pretty good out right there for Luna Sheena. For the Pocono family. Why beautiful Pocono, Pennsylvania. Up there in the mountains. Northeast part of the beautiful state of Pennsylvania. And in the water, Kavanaugh, Despo, Singleton, Lowers, Riley, Tanasseri, and Cheney for the women, along with Boyce there for the breaststroke. It's 58.34. Now Geneva Lakes, your leader. Geneva Lakes in lane number 3. Your Flyers are in. Bevel on 1, McBlain 2, McNeil 3, Clifford 4, Hoppin 5, Wolbert 6, Gowetsky in 7, Bonavia in lane number 8. Now Birmingham, Michigan, followed by Ridley and then Geneva Lakes. So Birmingham, Michigan anchors away. Williamson in 1, Christie 2, Nelson 3, Hassett 4, Smythe 5, Cooter Harrison 6, Jordan 7, and Hankins in lane number 8. Over on the men's side, Westfield is in lane 3 with Pierce. Mehawk, Youngstown is in 4, and McLaughlin in 5. On the women's side, Birmingham, they go 148.06. Officially your leaders on the deck. And on the men's side now, Lau, Satterfield, and Smith in the water. I'll try to work my way through these names, but once these 2 pools get going full force, it'll be difficult for me to announce each swimmer's name. So Miller in now, Lantanzio is in 4, and Hammock in 5. Hamrick in 5 for the men's side. And Kanawha, West Virginia, out of lane 5, still your leader. They were 52.90 halfway through, and working way through the fly. Westfield, New Jersey, up there in lane number 3. Home of Mark L. Sasser, the great CEO in that part of New Jersey and the whole state of New Jersey. I'm going to give him the props. Number 1. Could be the GOAT. And here we go. They'll be finishing up now. Looks like Youngstown may take this, and they do with a strong finish for Burnett. They go 139.70. Next up will be heat number 2. And on the women's side, heat 2 in the water. Boise in 1, Westchester 2, Springfield 3, the Cross 4, Summit is in 5, Phoenixville 6, Hamilton in 7, and Westport Weston in lane number 8. And we've got Hunt in 1, Hurley 2, Jackman 3, Rema Chris Cannon in 4, Dobb 5, Sadowski 6, Summers in 7, and Goosen in 8. As I mentioned, I'll just be tracking the teams now. On the men's side, Northwest Louisiana is in 1, Westport West in 2, Phoenixville in 3, Sussex in 4, Randolph 5, Nashua in 6, and Wabash in 7, but they don't look to be there. Only 6 teams in that heat. And on the medley relay on the women's side, it's Boise down here in lane number 1. You can see them. Boise was 56-69 halfway through, and on the men's side now they're moving through this heat. And Boise, good start right there, 123.31, followed by Westport West and some outside smoke, as Rowdy would say, from last night. Still Boise, as they're going to finish up. Time to beat 148.06, and it will be Boise at 148.11. So Birmingham still your leader on the deck, and on the men's side out of heat number 2, Westport Weston at 51.84 halfway through. Westport Weston, Connecticut, they're in lane number 2. That was a pretty good leg by Blaze Sadowski, a 15-year-old, up there in lane 2, and their flyer right now for Westport Weston, Riley Twiss. They're 1:14.82, time to beat 1:39.70. And they'll be looking to be well ahead of that at 136.55 for the gentleman from Westport Weston, with Berkowitz with a strong last leg. They are now your unofficial leaders on the deck. On the women's side, heat number 3 now staging. On the men's side, heat number 3 also staging. For the men, it'll be Pal Crosley in lane 1, Lima in 2. Virginia's Blue Ridge in 3, McGraw in 4, Stevens Point in 5, Uniontown 6, Blue Ash 7, and Flint in 8. Over on the women's side, it was Boise, followed by Westport West, and you can see that up on your screen. And on the women's side now, we have Bayside in 1, Central Bucks Family YMCA with Tim and John leading the way there. They're in 2, Fairfax County in 3, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania in 4, Racine in 5, Greater Susquehanna Valley in 6, Kennett and Jennersville in 7, and Madison in lane number 8. So heat number 3 on the women side is in the water. Backstrokers doing a good job. Baker 1, Mottershead 2, Kovacs 3, Shen 4, Thomas 5, Shannon 6, Perrin 7, and Miller in 8. And Racine's out first in 27.58. Mac Thomas. And on the men's side now, as I mentioned, Pal Crosley in 1, but it's Gibbons in 1, Ballas 2, Easter 3, Cole 4, Rasick 5, Hamilton 6, Gustafson in 7, and Gross in 8. And now your leader, Greater Susquehanna. They're at 56.52 up there in lane 6 on the women's side. McGraw out first here in lane number 4 on the men's side, but now moving up out of lane number 1, the Pal Crosley Junior Tiger Sharks. So heat 3 for the men and the women in the pool at the same time. And the women still Racine, followed by Madison and Bloomsburg. Pal Crosley now on the men's side, followed by Flint and Uniontown. Pal Crosley looking pretty strong on the fly leg. That's Silverstein trying to move out. We'll see what he does. He goes 22.16 on the fly leg. That's pretty good. And on the It's Madison, New Jersey. They go 150.09. Well, Madison, New Jersey out of lane number 8. Great swim right there. And look at Pal Crossley pounding it through here on the 2 medley relay. And Pal Crossley, they go 135.62. Now they're in second, just behind Westport Weston. Great swim right there. And on the men's side, we'll be in heat number 4. Time to beat 136.55. Westport Weston guys. And on the women's side, 148.06 from Birmingham out of heat number 1. Staging both sides for heat number 4 now coming up. Once again, on the men's side, it's lane number 1 at the top, lane 8 at the bottom of your screen, and it's reversed on the women's side. Lane number 1 at the bottom, lane number 8 at the top. So heat 4 ready to go. Moran for Marshfield in 1, Lou 2, Lou for Greensboro's in 2, Clifford for Pal Crossley's in 3, Iyer for Wilton Family YMCA, which are Wilton Wahoos in 4. Lane number 5 is Seidel for Blue Ridge. Lane 6 is Sheena for Springfield. Lane 7, Willenbring for St. Cloud. And in lane number 8, Borgia for Bremerton. So heat number 4 of 9 in the water. Backstrokers are done. That's Greensboro out ahead at 26:35 with Rena Liu. Nice swim right there. Now on the men's side, heat 4 will be in Spagnoletti and for Huntington in 1. Hensley for Lancaster and Fairfield in 2. Bennett's for Farmington in 3. Duback for Central Maryland in 4. Wowell for Geneva Lakes in 5. Braycott for Madison in 6. Leal for Indian Valley in 7, and McLean for Auglaize Mercer in 8. Those are your backstrokers. As these women work their way through now, it's Virginia's Blue Ridge. You're a leader. We're also moving up there out of lane number 3. We'll keep an eye on Pal Crossley. It's Blue Ridge, Pal Crossley, and Bremerton on the women's side. On the men's side, it's Dansley, Madison, and Indian Valley in that order. Time to beat on the women's side, 148.06, and it'll be a 147.89 for Pal Crossley. I see that Mike Leonard jumping up and down over there. 147.89. Great swim for the Pal Crossley girls. They are now unofficially your leaders on the deck. And on the men's side, working their way through, still Madison, New Jersey. Out of lane number 6. But now here it comes out of lane 4. Dansley, Maryland. Up through the fly leg, and it will be Indian Valley now in lane number 7, followed by Dansley and Farmington. Pretty even field here on the men's side, trying to chase it down, and it will be Madison. They go 137.67. Great swim for the Madison guys. Next up, heat 5 for the men, heat 5 for the women. So heat 5 for the women, Fox in 1 for Farmington Valley. M. Spoker 2 for Lima. Kupski 3 for Wilkes-Barre. Arnold 4 for Chippewa Valley. Presley in 5 for Northwest North Carolina. Holiday in 6 for Greater Somerset County. Santos in 7 for Upper Perkiomen. And Ramsey in 8 for Reading and Berks County. And over on the men's side, we'll stage heat number 5. That's Estep for Chambersburg in 1, Buck for Down East in 2, Frondoza for Northwest North Carolina in 3, Pretty for Parkersburg in 4, Lagameo for Cheshire in 5, Hogan for St. Cloud in 6, Ortega for Racine in 7, and McCloskey in lane number 8. So out first on the women's side, Reading and Berks County. That was Lauren Ramsey putting them out in a 25.90. And right now it switches over to Somerset County there at 55.89 halfway through. And on the men's side, that was very zippy, 22.63. Wow. For Racine's, I'm sorry, that was St. Cloud's, Connor Hogan putting the St. Cloud guys out ahead early in this 200 medley relay. And on the women's side, still Greater Somerset County at 120.67 now. Northwest North Carolina on the men's side now your leader, followed by St. Cloud and then Cheshire. Big lead for Somerset County. Well, they'll probably set the standard here, and they do. On the women's side, Somerset County goes 143.38. That should get you back into an evening swim. Followed by Reading and Berks County and Farmington Valley. And on the men's side now, trying to finish up there in lane number 3, Northwest North Carolina. Straight arming it in. They go 133.40. Northwest North Carolina 133.40. And that will now be your new leader on the deck. Great swim right there for the gentleman. That's for Donza Wells, Ponce de Leon, and Vargas. Heat number 6 for the men coming up, and heat number 6 for the ladies coming up. 10 heats in total for the men, 9 heats in total for the women. Heat number 6 on the women's side. Manson County for Burlington in 1, McLaren in 2 for Regional Y Western Connecticut, Schweikert 3 for Countryside, Rains in 4 for Severna Park. Lane 5 is Hammerin for Bath. Rentosa down east is in 6th. Hatch East Hampton Rec Center is in 7th. And Emmeton Hunfeld for South Family in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, heat number 6, Johnson for Springfield is in 1. Smelling for La Crosse in 2. Stoltz for Upper Mainlines in 3. Mangan for Central Bucks is in 4. Layton for Bath area is in 5. Wien for Upper Palmetto in 6. Van Emeren for Woodson in 7. And Owens for Foothills is in lane number 8. So time to beat 133.40 Northwest North Carolina in that previous heat. See what these guys are doing on their backs right now. And that'll be Upper Main Line with Stoltz out in 23.76. He's followed by Woodson and then Central Bucks. On the women's side, they're still staging heat number 6. And they're in now. They're coming up halfway point for the men. And it will still be Upper Main Line at 50.11. Followed by Woodson and still Central Bucks in 3rd. Shout out to Pat and Sherry Ryan. I'm sure one of you swim parents and longtime supporters of YMCA swimming is watching. If not, you'll watch the stream later on. And it's still Upper Main Line Woodson, then it's Springfield. And on the women's side, through the back, it was Countryside at 26.05 with Schweikert posting that 50-50 back time for the ladies from Countryside. And it will still be Upper Main Line. They hold on at a 134.20. Nice swim right there. And they're followed by Woodson and then Central Bucks. Great job on the men's side. And on the women's side, still moving through now through the fly leg. Countryside, Ohio, but now moving up out of lane number 7, East Hampton. Countryside, East Hampton, and a Regional Y Western Connecticut. Top 3 going into the freestyle leg of the 200 medley relay, heat number 6. Heat number 7 for the men now staging. Closing the gap here on the women's side, and it will be East Hampton. They come back. East Hampton, New York at 146.38, followed by Reading and Berks in Farmington. Over on the men's side now, we've got heat number 7, Bacall for Spartanburg in 1, Eisenhofer, Reading and Berks in 2, Duncan for Birmingham in 3, Payne for Springfield in 4, Garth Hoffner in 5 for Oshkosh, Myers in 6 for Emmy Lyons, Aiken in 7 for Indiana County, and Gerner for New Canaan in lane number 8. So 146.34, East Hampton Rec Center, New York. Great swim. Heat number 7 now staging on the women's side. First of our 3 circle seated heats. Bardo for Cheshire be in 1, Rodriguez for the Oranges in 2, Hobjon for Lakeland Hills in 3, Sargent for Umley in 4, Addison for Piedmont in 5, Riot for Butler in 6, Corby for Upper Palmetto in 7, and Pan for Farmington in lane 8. Out first on the men's side from Springfield, Ohio, 22.63. That's Jarrett Payne. 133.40 is your time to beat on the men's side. Northwest North Carolina. On the women's side, 143.38. Somerset County, your time to beat. Halfway through for the men now on the breast side. Now we have Birmingham followed by Reading and Berks and then Spartanburg. And on the women's side, it's Sarah Rodriguez for the Oranges. She's out 25-22. Flyers in on the men's side. Out of heat 7. It is still Birmingham, then Reading and Berks. Birmingham at 112.54, and then Spartanburg. Race at the top of the pool, but here comes lane number 6. Keep your eye on Emmy Lyons. On the women's side, still the Oranges, followed by Lakeland Hills. And it will be Birmingham, then Spartanburg, and then Emmy Lyons. So Birmingham on the men's side, 134.06. They are now, I believe, in second behind Northwest North Carolina. And heat number 8 now coming up. Piedmont on the women's side, now your leader. So it's Piedmont, Lakeland Hills, and then Upper Mainline. And they'll be finishing up, charging hard now, Upper Mainline, and trying to chase down Piedmont. And it will be Piedmont. They go 143.59. They are now your second fastest time. And on the men's side, heat number 8. First of our 3 circle seated heats now staging, be in the water. Edwards for Greensboro in 1, Horan for Regional Y Western Connecticut in 2. Arnold for Kennebec in 3. Jones for Fanwood Scotch Plains in 4. Condon for Greater Monmouth in 5. Lorenz for Schrader in 6. Lamb for Schneider in 7. Tinsley in 8 for Countryside. There your backstrokers are in. Time to beat right now, 133.40. Northwest North Carolina out of heat number 5. There was a big turn right there down here in lane number 6. That's Sam Lorenz. He goes 21.93 on the way out for these boys. Breaststrokers will even it up. On the women's side, heat number 8 will be in next. First of our 3 circle seed, second of our 3 circle seeded, Colburn for Western in 1, Jeffers for Nashua in 2, Claiborne for Lowe's in 3. Logan for Fanwood Scotch Plains in 4. Way in 5 for York and York County. Coe in 6 for Champaign. Lawrence for Wyckoff in 7. And McGee for Rapid in 8. Greater Monmouth, your leader now at 48-27 on the men's side as the Flyers are in. 3/4 of the way through, coming up on the men's side. It's still Greater Monmouth at 1:10.66. Trying to chase down that 1:33 time. Greater Monmouth comes in with a 1:33.23 time. And on the women's side, Fanwood Scotch Plains out in front, 24.88. On the back was Claire Logan. Oh, great finish there on the men's side. Schrader finishes up 1:31.44. Schrader comes in 20.53 on that last leg, so 1:31.44 on the men's side for Schrader. And that last split, I just missed it, but it was a real zippy last 50. We'll be able to see that on Meet Mobile on the Y website here. And on the women's side, still Fanwood Scotch Plains leading the way at 53.39. Time to beat 1:43.38. And you've got Fanwood Scotch Plains, Lowe's, and then York. On the men's side, Quarterman in for Boise in 1. Schaefer 2 for Boyertown. Johnson 3 for Lakeland. Hills. Stoner 4 for Yoda. Ham 5 for Jackson. Miller 6 for Champaign County. Whitfield 7 for Lynchburg. Skibbo in 8 for Wyckoff. So Fanwood Scotch Plains, they go 142.92. And now your leaders on the deck unofficially. Great swim for those ladies. Followed by Lowe's and then York. Final heat almost ready there on the women's side. There'll be staging on the men's side. Second of our 3 circle seated heats in the water. Whitfield looking pretty zippy down here. I think that's Whitfield. Yes, it is, out of Lynchburg. He's out in 22.75, followed by Lakeland Hills and then Boise. Breaststrokers in on the men's side. On the women's side, final heat. Healy for Triangle in 1. Francis for Woodson in 2. Cudlack for Lehigh in 3. Lemler for Schrader in 4. Penny for Spartanburg in 5. Meja for Boyertown in 6. Bendakis for Greater Monmouth in 7. And Botensik in for Oshkosh in 8. Triangle now your leader on the men's side. They're 48.70 halfway through. Followed by Lakeland Hills, and then it was Lynchburg. Now on the men's side, Triangle, Lakeland Hills, and then Jackson, Ohio now up there. 1:10.87 going through. 1:31.44 time to beat on the men's side. And your final heat in on the women's side. Finishing up 1:31.41. So Yoda now your new leader on the deck. Just ahead unofficially of Schrader. And over on the women's side, it's Schrader. Schrader looking great so far through this meet. Took the 4 medley on both sides. Medley relays on both sides last night. And they're leading here at a 53.91, followed by Woodson and then Greater Monmouth. Big lead for Schrader. Rest of the field pretty even. And on the men's side, the final heat going in. And on the men's side, it'll be Taylor for Rock River in 1, Jahaz in 2 for Western, Barnacle in 3 for Greater Somerset County, Welker in 4 for York and York County, Kennedy in 5 for Ridley, King in 6 for Piedmont, Reisner in 7 for Farmington Valley, and Kupski in 8 for Wilkes-Barre. Oh, here comes Schrader. Wow, 141.
That's a great prelim swim.
141.33 for the Schrader women. just over the national record time. So they'll finish up first, followed by Woodson and Spartanburg in that heat. And we'll see what the results look like as they come out here momentarily. And final heat on the men's side. Heat number 10, third of our 3 circle seated heats. I'll be able to work my way through these guys, all the names, with one pool going right now. I mentioned their names a little bit earlier on their backs right now in lane number 4. That looks like Nathan Welker out in 22:39 for York and York County for Welker. Good split right there. Breaststrokers in, Shields 1, Carahalis 2, Alexi 3, Parker 4, Kudafaris 5, Moore 6, Stevens 7, and Healy in 8. Again, screen. Top of your screen is lane 1, bottom of your screen is lane number 8. Pretty good swim right there. York, Piedmont, and then Greater Somerset County. Piedmont trailing by 0.2 of a second. But here comes Piedmont on the fly. Your flyers in. Muller 1, Reading 2, Gold 3, Hidalgo 4, Heckler 5, Brown 6, Rusnock 7, and Alkabokov in lane number 8. Now Piedmont by 44 hundredths over York and 53 hundredths over Greater Somerset County. Henriksen 1, Bird 2, Buniaweski in 3, Wade 4, Hool 4, Smith 5, Wool 6, and Watkins in 7. Tight as it's moving to the finish, and it will be York coming back in 20.22 with Jacob Wade, and they go 1:30.59, and that will be your top time unofficially. Great swim for the York boys. York and York County, YMCA the Roses. And we are finished up this morning here from Greensboro. There may be a swim off or two, I'm not sure, but my name is Bob McDowell. I'm privileged to be able to host you on this live stream provided by Take It Live. They do a great job throughout this week for us at during our centennial YMCA Short Course National Meet 2023 version from Greensboro, North Carolina, Tournament Town, USA, in the beautiful Greensboro Aquatic Center. Tonight we will be starting. You want to be here, try to get online around 4:45, but 5 p.m. is our devotion and our national anthem. 5:15 starts. We predict, and this isn't always true, a 7:45 end time for tonight's session, 7:45. We'll see if everything goes real well. Usually by night number 3, everybody has it together as far as the swimmers on the deck and coaches and everybody else who's putting the meet together, especially during those awards, because we do a lot of awards, a lot of recognition. But thanks again for joining us this morning as we stream live. We'll see you back here later tonight for our championship finals, and the team scores will become more and more important. Have a great afternoon.
Target time of noon for time trials. Noon for time trials. Upper Main Line and Upper Palmetto coaches, we need you right now at the admin office. Upper Main Line, Upper Palmetto coaches to the admin office right now. Thank you.
Oh, what do we have? Swim off. When's that? 11:40. I'll let Bruce handle that. But thank you. Yeah, he can handle it online. I'm not. What's that? No, please. Yeah. That's fine.